I'll tell you what I did real quick. It wasn't really that glamorous. I went over to the ranch. It's been 100. It's 108 degrees here. Now, I didn't realize my dad told me today because I thought I almost passed out on the roof. I was trying to hammer some shingles at, the wind, and they kind of look like this. So I'm leaving, and my roof looked like that. I'm like, that's not normal. So, of course, I had to go back up there. It was like 6:30 p.m., which is like the hottest time in the earth here in Texas. So I get up there. Get the little, you gotta have roof nails this big, Sarah. You don't ever want to go hammering the roof that big because what happens, that big goes through your roof and then you have leaks. So they make these, inch and a quarter. Yeah, just take a deep breath and I'll help you because it'll save you the $500 ripoff. Inch and a quarter, and then you just hammer them on the roof nails, right? But I didn't realize how hot it was. My dad said that they do the heat. When they say heat, it's 108, but they do that in the shade. The sun was on my right ear. Now, I'll land the plane here in a second. But I had to get off the roof because it felt like it was 212 degrees. And I went inside, and then I kind of sat there with the cold towel. I left the towel in the freezer, so that's going to be frozen. What did you do?
Me? Yeah. I went to the White Sox and Mets game with Kiana. I had an absolute blast. It was so fun.
Fire!
Unfortunately, I got there late because I had the worst Uber driver in the world. Like, I don't know.
Tags on your hat.
Demp, have you ever had like a top 2 worst Uber ride experience? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, oh yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. The bad Uber rides suck.
No, this man took
really?
2 wrong turns, tacked on another 32 minutes to the ride. The car reeked like cigarettes. But I had a great time.
Your tag was on your hat. Your tag was on your hat. I don't know if you noticed if it got new or what it was. I didn't know. I just helped.
It's a brand new lid.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Welcome to the show, guys. NTT Ballpark Cam taking us to the Trop where the Orioles took over sole possession of first place in the AL East after their extra innings win on Thursday. It's been 7 years since the O's last held the top spot in the division after the All-Star break. The Rays, on the other hand, have dropped 5 in a row. This is the same Tampa team that set the longest winning streak to start a season in the modern era. So, Ryan, what is more likely? The Rays win the AL East or finish behind the Blue Jays?
Well, I'll tell you this, if they don't get it going soon, it's going to be finished behind the Blue Jays because they're storming up north of the border in Toronto, and then these guys are a freight train right now. I mean, you can't get in the way. The way they're playing, like that hustle triple last night, by the way, by Gunnar Henderson, that is urgency. That is go after guys. We're playing with everything we got. That's reading the play. I mean, I noticed it. I just noticed a different energy. So you got to figure out a way to dig deep. Otherwise, I feel like they're going to fall behind Toronto. Toronto's coming strong too. So it's hard to go wire, and the Rays are finding that out right now.
Let me tell you. Let me just tell you what that was real quick. So that was tone setting. And when you're not going good, I always tell us the kids, it's easy to play the game hard when things are right. It's almost like when your body's out of shape. Sometimes we feel fat. Okay, here we go. Christmas came, all the holidays. Well, guess what? We're eating worse as we feel kind of worse, if that makes sense. Then when we're working out, we all kind of eat well and we're doing great and we're walking. That's kind of like baseball. When things aren't going your way, you have to play harder. When you're 2 for 22 and you're Wander Franco hitting 200 the last 20 days, you got to play the game harder. And as a team, you got to play harder. And that's what the Orioles they expose you during your weak times. And that's exactly right, Ryan. When that triple went with Henderson, you know if you're Kevin Cash, you're sitting there going, no. You can be as sweet as you can, but the one thing I'm not going to let you guys do, we're going to go through these times. And it gives us a chance to talk about, are the Rays going to fall out? Is this a bad time? We forget that they won 13 straight top of the year, and then they won 20-some-odd something with 4 losses. It felt like they were never going to lose. But they built that cushion for a reason. Now these struggles, and they're only 1 game out now, right? And these teams that were looking up, now it's closer. But during these times, Rays, I will tell you one thing. Take it from an undrafted dude that had to just bleed and crawl, is that you got to play harder through these tough times. You can't let things like that. Balls under. You have to play harder. You run harder. Even if you're 0 for 25, it's less exposure if you play the game hard all the way through than to start pouting and our heads hanging, and then you realize the guy's hitting 180. No one will know if you play hard. That was an awesome play by Henderson.
Tampa, by the way, is 27th in rotation ERA since June 20th. Before that, they had the best rotation ERA in the league. NTT Ballpark Cam gives us a peek into Anaheim, where the Angels host the Pirates tonight. And guys, this is the question that everybody has been talking about. The most hotly contested debate in baseball right now. Every single show has addressed it, but we kind of go against the grain here, but not today. Guys, it is finally time. Kevin, the Shohei Ohtani dilemma. Is trading him the right move for the Angels organization?
Listen, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to play like I'm Artie Moreno for a second, okay? I have the greatest thing we've ever seen, whatever you want to call it, the sweetest human being. You gravitate to him. He's got 35 homers and 76 ribbies. He strikes people out. He's hitting 300, has a chance for the Triple Crown. The whole shebang, right? So if I have the greatest player assembled in the history of this game on my team, and I have a chance to lose him next year, great. But I got to sit here and now I got to do math. He's the most marketable player in this game right now. He goes anywhere in the world, that jersey. You say the word Shohei Ohtani. It's just like saying Messi. When he came over to Miami, like, I'm not into soccer. I know who Messi is, right? You know who Shohei Ohtani is. So I got to sit back and go, you know what? Why do I have to get rid of him? I don't even know what package is big enough to get rid of him. I know we've always struggled with our pitching staff for many years in Anaheim. We sign dudes and sign dudes. We got a great offense. Like, who's going to pitch? Well, okay, am I getting 4 elite first-round picks that are going to help me in the big league level now? And am I going to get a 3, 4, 5 hit? It's like, there's no package big enough. If I'm the Angels, period, I keep him. I keep him, and I just see how it's going to work out. Maybe have a chance to talk to him behind the scenes. Maybe some boys club stuff. Do you love playing here? We can figure this out. But I don't know if I just move him for some prospects because we're going to lose him next year, and we're trying to win a ring. If you're trying to win a ring, you're 1 game over 500. How about getting hot as a team? Phil Nevin doesn't want to trade him. Believe in your ability and go win. I know you got injuries, but you know what? Dudes pick each other up, and you keep going. I don't get rid of them.
Tim?
Yeah, listen, if your chance is 1% of re-signing Shohei Ohtani, you stick with it. You fight for that because this guy has been everything you expected him to be when you signed him to this deal. When he chose coming to LA, to the Angels, when he chose that, he's done it all. I mean, and he's put it up from MVP to, these kind of performances, possible Cy Young Award winning. He's the best player in the game. And so if you trade that away, you have succumbed to the fact that you're not signing him. And they have a greater chance than that. Listen, Shohei, I would guess at this point in the season with 2 months left to go, he wants to be a free agent. He wants to see what's out there and what's his market like and how does it get driven up. And he deserves that. He's put it all together and he's gone out there and performed, so he should get that. And so the Angels are going to have to see where that's at. But I wouldn't trade him either. There's no way. This is a chance to have a player of your franchise that has his jersey number retired, has a statue built out front, and takes you to a World Series. So the thought of trading him, to me, honestly makes my stomach upset. I wouldn't imagine it. I know they want to bring him back, and why wouldn't you? Every general manager and every president of baseball operations for every team in baseball wants Shohei Ohtani. Some can't afford it, some he won't go to, and some have an opportunity, and some, like the Angels, have a bigger opportunity than most to re-sign him. So he's not getting traded. I'd be utterly shocked if he got traded. It would have to be something gargantuan that I don't think another team is willing to give up, and so I think he's going to be an Angel.
Yeah,
and I think ultimately he might be an Angel for life. Yeah, I don't know where you start. We talked about this in the meeting. What did you say? Do you go for part ownership?
Do you give a percentage
to drive the salary down? I don't know. This is like nothing we've ever seen in this sport ever. With the economics of this game. So this is a guy who is it $50 million a year for 10 years? Is it $60 million a year for less years? Is it set? Who knows? I don't know what somebody's going to throw out there. Is it a brand new Ford Taurus in the deal? I don't know. These are things that could get thrown in.
Well, that would just be the strawberry on top, or the cherry on top. Shohei Ohtani, by the way, returning to the mound tonight after dealing with some hand issues. He had the blister, the cracked fingernail, and struggling a little bit. I'm actually surprised. I thought that one of you would at least say trade him, but you guys just agree on everything. NTT Ballpark Cam turned on at Globe Life Field. The Dodgers visiting the Rangers for a 3-game set. Corey Seager facing his former team for the first time since signing with Texas. And his Rangers, guys, have been cooking lately. Winners of 6 straight. They have a 4-game lead over the Astros in the AL West, and the D-backs and Giants are both just 2 games back of Los Angeles in the NL West. So, Dem, what do the Dodgers and Rangers need to add to solidify a World Series run?
Yeah, I think for LA, one of their biggest things has got to be health. They need health. Like, they keep losing pitchers, and guys, eventually you run out in depth. For the Rangers, I just look at their roster, and they are so low. They already made the trade for Aroldis Chapman. That's back into the bullpen help. Is it another bat? Do they need another bat? Look at how much they rake. They absolutely demolish good pitching, and subpar pitching doesn't stand much of a chance because you got Simeon and Seager. And by the way, Jonah Heim's hitting over 420 with runners in scoring position. So they're loaded. I think maybe just those little pieces, maybe a veteran guy that you bring in who has some winning experience. But to me, the Texas Rangers are the most complete team in baseball right now as far as top to bottom. When it comes to rotation and then it comes to the back end of the bullpen, they're loaded.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I agree. Sometimes trading line comes, and when you're rolling the way they are, I don't know if you have to make a move. We get caught up in like, oh my God, I got to make a move. What are they going to do? What are they going to? Well, yeah, every team's got a hole. Every team's got a little bit relief. We can always add an arm with the rest of the teams trying to go. We can always add an arm. Cool. If they don't do anything, I still think they have a chance to win the World Series. Now, the Dodgers, on the other hand, this is a very unique situation because, once again, they're 15 games over 500. You don't know really kind of what they've gone through. They're a different rotation without Buehler in that rotation, so he's going to be back sometime, hopefully in September. Urias didn't have a great start, but I still love this kid on the mound. I don't care. He cares, and he gives you everything he has every time. Goslin, he was a guy that could dominate. I don't think he lost a game, a year ago. It seemed like for 13, 14 stars, 12, whatever the exact number was. But this is still a good ball club, and they still kind of that glue. Obviously, the Seager gap, you're starting to realize when that contract happens, like, whoa. But that's why it was a whoa, because he's a great player. There's a gap. They're 26th at that position. Gavin Lux got hurt early in the year, but they battled through this stuff. This might be 2 teams you might see later on in October. We'll see how it goes.
Guys, you remember the other day when we showed the fan that got hit in the head with the Gunnar Henderson homer? It kind of ricocheted. It was right here. You wanted to spot shadow it. Do we have it? Yeah, there it is. There,
yeah.
Ouch. Right in the nose. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
He reached out to us. The fan did.
What?
He's a fan of the show, Sierra.
Yeah. His name's Jimmy. He said, hey, guys, I'm the guy that was hit by the Gunnar home run. I was getting ready for it, but it landed in the row in front of me and ricocheted off their hands into my eye and nose. I was wondering my Gunner's shirt, too. Laughing emoji.
You know what?
Someone else got the ball with my assist. Ended up just with a big dent in his nose. Glad to take one for the team as long as they
I'm signing something for Jimmy.
Love
Yeah,
this shot.
we're going to sign something. We're going to sign
Absolutely.
Jimmy. We're going to get your address, and we're sending a signed ball. If you don't want my autograph, I'll grab one of these off the thing. This is Garth Brooks. It's a little bit faded. I'll grab
What are we
one of
sending
these.
him?
But if you want mine,
And there's
I'm going to
nothing
send him a
wrong
ball.
with an
Ryan's going to
assist.
sign a ball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll sign a ball,
For the
send it
assist.
to him. And there's nothing wrong with assists. Listen, Wayne Gretzky